From the moment I tuned into your energy, something felt unusually heavy, like a door that wasn't simply closed. It was pushed shut with emotion behind it. Welcome to Lana, where every message finds you at the moment your heart is ready to hear the truth. Today's reading pulled me into a silence that didn't feel random at all. It felt chosen, deliberate, and filled with thoughts this person is too afraid to express. Someone has been keeping their distance from you, not because they don't feel anything, but because they feel far more than they know how to handle. There is a strange push and pull in this connection, almost like someone who wants to speak but can't find the courage, someone who walks away but keeps looking back, someone who convinces themselves to ignore you even though their heart refuses to let go. Their energy clings to you, even in their silence. The universe kept showing me flashes, late night overthinking, regret, fear, longing, and a truth they've been hiding behind their quiet behavior. In your reading today, 3 cards appeared with a message that struck deeply: the 5 of Pentacles, the 8 of Cups, and the 4 of Cups. These cards revealed a story of someone feeling left out yet unable to express it, someone who walked away thinking distance would numb their emotions, and someone now, sitting in deep contemplation, realizing that ignoring you isn't bringing them the peace they hoped for. As we move deeper into this reading, I will show you exactly what each of these cards revealed, because their silence is not indifference. It's a storm they don't know how to escape. When the 5 of Pentacles rises in a reading like this, it arrives with the weight of unspoken pain, a pain that isn't loud, dramatic, or explosive, but quiet, lingering, and deeply human. This card is the story of someone who feels left out, abandoned, or unseen, yet doesn't know how to ask for comfort or closeness. In the context of someone intentionally ignoring you, the 5 of Pentacles shows that the silence you're experiencing is not rooted in strength or indifference. It's rooted in insecurity, fear, and emotional exhaustion. This card holds the energy of someone standing outside in the cold, watching a warm light through a window but feeling unworthy or unable to step inside. They want warmth, they want connection, but something inside them whispers that they don't deserve it. It's the energy of a person who may be ignoring you because they think they can't offer you what you deserve, or because they fear you will reject them first. They distance themselves to avoid being hurt, but in doing so, they hurt even more. The 5 of Pentacles often appears when a person feels unsupported or misunderstood, even when the support is right in front of them. This means the one who is ignoring you could be misreading your intentions, your emotions, or your actions. They might believe you don't care anymore, or that you're better off without them. Their silence becomes a shield, even though it's a painful one. This is the kind of person who convinces themselves they are doing the right thing by staying away, even as their heart aches from the separation. Emotionally, the card speaks of someone who has been carrying old wounds for a long time. These wounds shape how they respond to conflict, closeness, vulnerability, and love. Instead of facing what they feel, they withdraw, thinking distance will protect them. But the 5 of Pentacles doesn't show peace. It shows longing. It shows someone feeling the loss. It shows someone who still cares deeply, but has no idea how to express that care without feeling exposed or rejected. This person's silence isn't empty. It's full of doubts, full of memories, full of questions they're too afraid to ask you. They may be spending late nights replaying conversations, wondering what went wrong or what they could have done differently. They may be scrolling through your photos, your messages, your posts, trying to feel connected to you without actually reaching out. They want you to notice their distance, but at the same time, they're terrified you won't. That fear of being forgotten is stronger than they let on. The 5 of Pentacles also speaks of pride and suffering. This person doesn't want anyone to see them struggling, especially you. They feel weakened by their emotions for you. They feel exposed by how deeply they care, so they pull away as a form of self-protection. even though it leaves them even more vulnerable. They think ignoring the connection will numb them, but each day they only feel the cold more sharply. Another message in this card is that they assume you don't need them. They might see you as stronger, more confident, more stable, more self-assured. In their eyes, you have warmth, love, and abundance around you, while they stand in the cold with nothing to offer. They compare themselves to you and feel inadequate. Their silence is not a punishment. It's a confession of how small they feel next to you. But what they don't realize is that the door they're afraid to knock on was never closed to them. They walk away believing they are unwanted, but the connection they crave is still open, still alive, still capable of healing. The Five of Pentacles reminds us that distance can be an illusion created by fear. The separation they feel is something they can change, if only they let go of their insecurities long enough to speak their truth. When the Eight of Cups walks into a reading like this, it carries the quiet sound of footsteps moving away, not in anger, not in betrayal, but in deep emotional confusion. This card is not about abandoning something they never cared about. It's about walking away from something they cared about too much, something that overwhelmed them, something they didn't know how to handle. In the story of someone intentionally ignoring you, the Eight of Cups reveals the truth behind their silence. They left not because their heart was empty, but because it was overflowing. This card holds the energy of emotional escape. It shows someone turning their back on something meaningful because staying felt too heavy, too intense, too awakening. Your connection touched a part of them they weren't ready to face. It brought to the surface wounds they never healed, fears they never admitted, and desires they didn't believe they deserved. Instead of opening up, they shut down. Instead of reaching toward you, they retreated inward. This is the kind of person who chooses distance when their emotions become too loud to control. The Eight of Cups is the card of emotional avoidance. It tells the story of a person who walks away believing it will make the pain smaller, but it doesn't. They thought silence would calm their heart. They thought ignoring their feelings for you would eventually make them disappear. They believed that if they could create enough distance, they could convince themselves that what they felt for you wasn't as deep as it actually is. But walking away didn't free them. Instead, it created a quiet ache they carry like a shadow. The Eight of Cups also shows someone who left because they felt something was missing inside them. They didn't feel ready, stable, or emotionally whole. They looked at you, at the connection, at the intensity between you, and they felt inadequate. They felt unprepared for the kind of vulnerability you pulled out of them. This is someone who didn't walk away from you. They walked away from themselves. They walked away from their own fears, their own insecurities, their own unhealed pieces. You simply became the mirror that made those pieces visible. Sometimes, this card appears when someone is trying to protect you from their chaos. They think disappearing is better than letting you see their emotional mess. They tell themselves you deserve more than what they can give. They believe leaving is their way of being responsible, even though it causes more pain than honesty ever could. Their silence is their misguided attempt to save you from the version of themselves they don't want you to witness. Yet, even as they walk away, the Eight of Cups shows they keep looking back. This is not a clean break. This is not a heart that simply moved on. The cups they leave behind are full of emotions, memories, dreams, and hopes they didn't know how to hold. They walk away with a sense of unfinished business, a feeling that something remains unresolved, a quiet inner voice whispering that they're abandoning something meaningful. Their distance is haunted by what if, by regret, by the awareness that running does not erase feelings, it only postpones them. In the context of your reading, this card reveals a person who is ignoring you because facing you requires courage they haven't found yet. Speaking to you would tear down the walls they've spent years building. Coming closer to you would mean confronting truths about themselves they've avoided for too long. Their silence is not lack of love, it's fear of the depth of the love they feel. They're overwhelmed by how real everything becomes when they think of you, when they remember your presence, your voice, your energy. You awaken something in them they weren't prepared to deal with. Emotionally, the Eight of Cups represents a journey inward. This person is searching for answers, trying to understand why they feel so deeply, why they react the way they do, why vulnerability terrifies them. They may be isolating themselves, withdrawing from everyone, not just you. Their actions are less about punishing you and more about trying to find themselves. They're walking through their own inner darkness, hoping distance will bring clarity. But the truth is, they keep circling back to the thought of you. When the Four of Cups appears in a reading like this, it brings with it an energy of emotional numbness, an inner fog that makes everything feel distant, muted, and heavy. This card doesn't show someone who has stopped caring. It shows someone who is so overwhelmed by what they feel that they've shut down emotionally, almost as a defense mechanism. In the story of someone intentionally ignoring you, the Four of Cups reveals the truth behind their withdrawal. They are lost in their own thoughts, consumed by their own fears, and unable to see clearly what is being offered to them, even when that offering is love, connection, or healing. This card speaks of a person who is sitting with their emotions, but not really understanding them. They may be replaying old memories, questioning their choices, doubting their worth, or feeling stuck between wanting closeness and fearing it. The Four of Cups shows someone who turns inward when they become emotionally overwhelmed. Instead of reaching out, they retreat. Instead of communicating, they shut down. Instead of choosing honesty, they sit with their confusion and pretend they don't feel anything. But the truth is, they feel too much, not too little. The Four of Cups often appears when someone is stuck in a cycle of overthinking. They might be sitting alone, staring at their phone, debating whether to message you. They may write a text and delete it. They may check your profile but refuse to interact. They may feel the urge to reach out, but immediately shut the idea down. This card shows a person who battles their emotions quietly, silently, and deeply. Their silence toward you is not a sign of disinterest. It's a sign of emotional overwhelm. This person is ignoring you because they don't know how to deal with what they feel. They are afraid of making the wrong move. They're afraid of saying something wrong. They're afraid of opening up and being rejected. They sit with their emotions, hoping that if they stay quiet long enough, the intensity will pass. But instead, the silence grows heavier. Their withdrawal becomes a habit. Their absence becomes a shield. And even though they miss you, they try to convince themselves that distancing is safer than facing the truth of their heart. The Four of Cups also represents a deep internal conflict. On one side, they crave connection. On the other side, they fear vulnerability. They long for you, yet they avoid you. They want to talk to you, yet they push the urge away. It's like their heart and mind are pulling them in opposite directions. Their heart says, go to them, but their mind says, protect yourself. And because fear speaks louder than love in their current emotional state, they choose withdrawal, even if it hurts them. There is also an element of emotional exhaustion in this card. This person may be dealing with stress, unresolved trauma, or personal struggles they never talk about. They may feel drained, overwhelmed, or mentally checked out. When someone is in this state, even a beautiful opportunity, like the love or connection they feel with you, can be hard for them to recognize. They don't ignore because they don't care. They ignore because they feel disconnected from themselves. When a person cannot feel their own emotions clearly, they cannot respond to others properly. The Four of Cups shows someone staring at the past, stuck in old regrets or old disappointments. They keep comparing what they feel for you with what they've experienced before. They fear repeating past heartbreaks. They fear getting attached. They fear losing control. So they sit still, frozen, caught between desire and fear. This emotional paralysis becomes silence. Their silence becomes distance. Their distance becomes confusion. And you end up feeling ignored, when in reality, they're fighting a battle inside themselves. But what they don't realize is that the universe is offering them something beautiful through you. A chance at emotional healing, a chance at real connection, chance at love that feels different from anything they've known. Yet, because they're so caught up in their inner world, they can't see what's being offered. Their hands are in their lap, their eyes turned away, their thoughts spiraling. They don't see the cup right in front of them, the cup that represents you. But here's the deeper truth this card reveals. They do think about you. They do feel your absence. They do replay moments with you. They do sense the opportunity your connection holds. They're not indifferent. They're overwhelmed and afraid. And the Four of Cups shows that the longer they sit in silence, the more the longing grows beneath it. When the Five of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and the Four of Cups appear together in a reading like this, the message becomes unmistakably powerful, emotional, and deeply revealing. Together, these three cards paint the complete picture of someone who is ignoring you not because they have fallen out of love, but because they are drowning in their own emotional storms. These cards, side by side, show a heart that is hurting, a mind that is overwhelmed, and a soul that is struggling to find clarity. The Five of Pentacles begins the story with the feeling of emotional isolation. This person already believes they are on the outside looking in. They feel unworthy, insecure, or incapable of giving you what you deserve. Their silence stems from a place of fear. Fear that they are not enough. Fear that they might disappoint you. Fear that you will one day walk away from them. So instead of risking rejection, they choose distance. They convince themselves that staying back will protect their heart, even though it only makes the ache stronger. Then comes the Eight of Cups, which reveals the emotional journey behind their withdrawal. This card shows that they didn't simply drift away. They walked away with purpose, with confusion, with unresolved feelings. They left because what they felt for you was too intense, too real, too awakening. Your connection stirred parts of them they weren't ready to confront. They turned their back not on you, but on everything inside them that felt heavy, unhealed, and frightening. They hoped distance would help them escape the intensity, but instead, it deepened the longing. And then, standing quietly beside the other two, the Four of Cups shows the final layer of the story: emotional numbness and deep overthinking. This person sits alone with their thoughts, replaying moments, wondering what they could have done differently, but feeling stuck. They're not at peace. They're not moving on. They're not forgetting you. They're emotionally frozen, unable to reach for the connection that still lives inside their heart. They stare at their feelings and try to silence them, but the more they ignore the emotions, the louder they grow. Together, these three cards show a person trapped between fear and desire. The Five of Pentacles makes them feel unworthy. The Eight of Cups makes them run when emotions get too real. And the Four of Cups keeps them stuck in the loop of hesitation, regret, and emotional paralysis. This is someone who thinks of you far more than you know. Their silence is not rejection, it's an internal battle. They're fighting their fears, pushing down their longing, and trying to hide how deeply they still feel connected to you. But these cards also reveal something important. Nothing here is final. Their distance is temporary, not permanent. Their heart is still tied to you. Their emotions haven't faded. They're overflowing beneath the surface. This combination shows that the person ignoring you is on a journey of self-discovery, healing, and emotional awakening. And once they come out of this inner turmoil, they will realize one truth they can no longer avoid. Walking away from you never made their feelings disappear. It only made them miss you more.